Hello, I'm Atujame and you're watching Hornbill TV's Prime at 9. An explosion went through a crowded mosque in western Afghanistan on Friday, killing at least 18 people, while 21 people have been injured, an Afghan cleric said. The Taliban informed that an Islamic cleric had also been killed in the blast. The blast went off in Guzakar Mosque in the western city of Herat during Friday noon prayers, the highlight of the Muslim Religious Week, when places of worship are particularly crowded. The explosion killed Mujib-ul-Rahman Ansari, a prominent cleric who was known across Afghanistan for his criticism of Afghanistan's Western-backed governments over the past 2 decades. Ansari was seen as close to the Taliban, who seized control over the country a year ago as foreign forces withdrew. His death was confirmed by the chief Taliban spokesman, Zabihullah Mujahid. The spokesman for Afghanistan's Interior Ministry said there were more dead and wounded but could not provide details. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for Friday's blast. Previous mosque attacks have been claimed by the Islamic State extremist group, which has carried out a series of attacks against religious and ethnic minorities in Afghanistan as well as Taliban targets. The Supreme Court on Friday rejected a plea seeking to declare Sanskrit as the national language of India. Giving a language national status is a policy decision that needs a constitutional amendment and is not mandated by the court. A bench of Justices M.R. Shah and Krishna Murari rejected the petition. The bench said this lies in the realm of policy decision, and even for the aforesaid Constitution of India is to be amended. No writ can be issued to the Parliament for declaring a language as a national language. How many cities in India speaks Sanskrit? Do you speak Sanskrit? Can you recite one line in Sanskrit or at least translate the prayer in your writ petition to Sanskrit? The bench asked the petitioner. The top court rejected the plea and stated that the petitioner may be free to bring such a case to the government. Lawyer K.D. Vanzara, a retired IAS officer, filed the PIL. The petition requested that the central government notify Sanskrit as the country's official language, claiming that doing so will not conflict with the current provisions of the Constitution that designate English and Hindi as the nation's official languages. The Agriculture Officers Coordination meeting was held at the new Secretariat in Kohima. Minister G. Kaitoye for Agriculture and Cooperation addressed the meeting. He called upon the officers, staff and field workers of the department to address the needs of the farmers in the state. He urged officers to work with responsibility so that the schemes and facilities reach beneficiaries on time.
The second highest in the world, that is next to China. So here we have huge strength, and we, as far as the oil seeds is concerned, we are importing huge from the outside in order to reduce that. So I would like to request all the scientists that we need to plan out on the basis of the direction by the government of India. The fourth one is to simplify the procedure. Instead of taking 1 month, it should be done in 1 week. So that is the direction, and after attending that, we had a, meeting with all agree and alike and requesting them to simplify. And I would like to appreciate the Cooperation Department in presence of our Honorable Minister. Those were the days the registration of cooperative society used to take 5 months, 6 months.
Agriculture Production Commissioner Y.K. Khetusema also said that the Agriculture Department has a huge responsibility to guide the other allied departments, as 70% of the state population is engaged in agriculture. He pointed out that the traditional system of farming based on jhum and shifting cultivation should be pondered upon, because this farming system is not economically viable and ecologically not sustainable.
When we come as a team, those different ways of our activities should be set aside and teamwork should be the domain for achieving the goal, which is agriculture for upliftment of our economy. Our department performance is not lagging, as stated by our director also. And this can be seen or depicted by the various field activities which all of you are performing in your respective places of postings, which are depicted in various media. So congratulations to all of you. And
Also highlighting the present status of oil palm cultivation in the state, Program Officer in charge of National Mission on Edible Oils, Oil Palm, Rontamo Kikon, highlighted that as per record, the state has covered 5,423 hectares spread across the state, with the fruiting area standing at 1,127 hectares, while a total of FFB's production stands at 1,654.07 MT. Buyback of FPP is yet to start, it was informed. Mokokchung District's Bharatiya Janata Party unit will be carrying out a massive special enrollment drive in all the assembly constituencies in Mokokchung from September 5, Monday. This enrollment drive is being undertaken after the PJP Nagaland State Executive meeting on June 18 at Dimapur directed enrollment of members of both primary and active membership. People who are interested in enrolling their names with the PJP as either primary or active members are requested to contact the Mokokchung PJP's Enrollment Drive Committee. All active workers in the constituencies are directed to cooperate and coordinate with the Enrollment Committee during the next few weeks. This was stated in a press release from the media and IT cell of the district's PJP. To promote entrepreneurship and to take development to all sections of society, including marginalized groups and SC/ST entrepreneurs, the National SC/ST Hub Conclave was held today at the EBC Gospel Centenary Hall at New Lamka in Churachandpur. The conclave is being organized by the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises along the lines of the Public Procurement Policy 2012. Speaking as the chief guest on the conclave, Bhanu Pratap Singh Verma, Union Minister of State for MSME, highlighted the scheme and others of the ministry. He said that the National SC/ST Hub would provide professional support to SC/ST enterprises and work towards the development of new entrepreneurs to participate in the public procurement process, leveraging on the Stand Up India program. The minister also assured that support and mentoring services will be provided to selected entrepreneurs by industry experts, CPSEs and incubators. Awards were given to 3 top entrepreneurs and stores were set up to showcase numerous products of different entrepreneurs in the state. Besides entrepreneurs and other beneficiaries, senior officials from different government departments attended the conclave. The Mizo Zirlai Paul, Mizoram's apex students body, today visited various schools in Aizawl to carry out their campaign to ask students against inter-tribe, ethnic, community marriages. The campaign was launched in 2015 with claims of protecting the Mizo identity and culture. Mizo Zirlai Paul's president, Lalnun Mawai Pauto, claims that the campaign was solely aimed to preserve the low population of Mizos. Pauto also claimed that the campaign does not hold any grudges against other communities residing within the state nor in the racial discrimination campaign. The organization just wants every community residing within the state to marry within their own for preserving their unique identity, Pauto claimed. Every September 2, leaders from the students' body visit various schools within Aizawl and other districts of the state and deliver speeches that promote marrying within one's community to maintain unique culture and practices. Union Minister for Women and Child Development and Minority Affairs Smriti Irani will be visiting Mizoram tomorrow. After arriving at Liangpui Airport, she will head for the Eklavya Model Residential School at Pukpoi and then visit the PSC Oxygen Plant in Longle District. On September 3, the Union Minister will be visiting the One-Stop Centre at Dortlang North Aizawl and other childcare institutions and rehabilitation centres at Huntar in Aizawl. The security around religious places is under review after some unidentified miscreants attempted to vandalize a church in Pati in Punjab's Tarn Taran district in August 31st, said officials on Friday. The review directions came in the wake of the desecration of idols in a church in the region.
पर्पस यही है जो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਮਿਊਨਲ ਡਿਸਹਾਰਮਨੀ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟ ਕਰੇ ਔਰ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਬੜਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਟ वी आर कॉम्पिटेंट टू हैंडल दिस सिचुएशन। पीछे आपने देखा होगा तरन तारण में एक सैक्रिलेज इंसिडेंट हुआ जिसमें कुछ सामाजिक तत्वों ने एक रिलीजियस प्लेस पे जाके वहाँ मूर्ति की तोड़ी। सो आज डीजी साहब के निर्देशानुसार एक पूरे स्टेट में कि हम ऑपरेशन चला रहे हैं कि हमारे जितने भी रिलीजियस प्लेसेस हैं किसी भी धर्म से वो ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं उनकी सुरक्षा को हम एक रिव्यू कर रहे हैं ताकि उनकी सुरक्षा को पुख्ता बनाया जा सके।
Kalyan Chobe defeated Baichung Bhutia to become the All India Football Federation president in the elections on Friday. Chobe, a former Mohun Bagan and East Bengal goalkeeper, won 33-1 against former captain Bhutia. The 45-year-old Chobe is a PJP politician who lost the last parliamentary election for the Krishna Nagar seat in West Bengal. After losing the election, former football captain Baichung Bhutia said, "I accept my defeat with humility. I have been a servant of football for more than 2 decades and I will continue to do so. I understand my followers and well-wishers are upset, but I want to tell them that I am very, very grateful to everyone who has supported me and rooted for me. I have been striving to clean the football at Sikkim and national levels, and I promise that I will keep working towards the betterment of football at the state and national levels." For fighting a great battle against all odds for the post of AIFF. The party said the fight was tough from day one when players' voting rights were not given. Despite political pressure from the National Party, Bhutia did not sell his honor and soul. He stood up against political pressure for the betterment of football. HSP slammed the political lobby and people like Menlai Tenpa, who chose the winning horse by match fixing over football and its betterment. A court in Myanmar on Friday sentenced ousted leader Aung San Suu Kyi to 3 years imprisonment with labor after finding her guilty of election fraud, adding more jail time to the 17 years she is already serving for others offences prosecuted by the military government. The latest verdict also carries potentially significant political consequences for Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy party by lending support to the government's explicit threats to dissolve it before a new election. The military has promised for 2023. Suu Kyi's party won the 2020 general election in a landslide victory, but the army seized power the following February and kept her from a second 5-year term in office. The army contends it acted because of alleged widespread fraud in the polls, though independent election observers did not find any major irregularities. Some critics of Senior General Min Aung Hlaing, who led the takeover and is now Myanmar's top leader, believes he acted because the vote thwarted his own political ambitions. The military's seizure prompted widespread peaceful protests that were quashed with lethal force, triggering armed resistance that some UN experts now characterize as civil war. Suu Kyi had already been sentenced to 17 years in prison on charges of illegally importing and possessing walkie-talkies, violating coronavirus restrictions, sedition, and 5 counts of corruption. Many top members of her party and government also have been jailed, while others are in hiding or have fled abroad. "29 pigs have died from African swine fever today in Mizoram and 141 have been culled. This brings the state's total swine mortality rate to 10,493 and 9,298 culled. 1 pig is suspected to have died of ASF today. This brings the total death count from suspected ASF at 922. There are 70 localities and villages suspected to have been affected by ASF. 146 localities and villages in all the 11 districts of the state have reportedly been affected by African swine fever. The department has issued an advisory to the public. They are asked to report unusual death of pigs and wild pigs to the local authorities and local veterinary staff. They are also asked to not handle dead pigs and other animals with bare hands. Further, the public are asked to dispose dead pig carcasses by employing the deep burial method and with lime. The president of the Sikkim Football Association, Minla Itenpa, has been nominated as one of the executive committee member of the All India Football Federation. The election of the AIFF for 3 key posts, namely president and vice president and treasurer, was held today. Baichung Bhutia lost to Kalyan Chobe. The Sikkim Football Association did not vote for Bhutia. When asked by reporters for not supporting Bhutia, Itenpa had earlier said that Bhutia would surely not win the election. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today commissioned the first indigenous-built aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant. This is the largest warship built in India. It is a proud moment for Indian Navy as well as for the nation. The INS Vikrant was built at the cost of 20,000 crore and is a boost to make India self-reliant in the defence sector.
India marked a big step in the direction of strengthening the Atmanirbhar Bharat objective within the strategic sector of defence. Named after an illustrious predecessor which had performed an important function within the 1971 battle, INS Vikrant is designed by the Indian Navy's in-house Warship Design Bureau and constructed by the Cochin Shipyard, public sector shipyard. With the commissioning of Vikrant, India can have 2 operational plane carriers, which is able to bolster the maritime safety of the nation. Vikrant has been geared up with 32 medium vari floor-to-air missiles. The plane service can even be geared up with AK-630 rotary cannons in addition to the Kavach anti-missile naval decoy system. The Vikrant has a displacement of 42,800 tons and might carry over 30 planes and accommodate a crew of around 1,600 individuals. the cruising pace of 18 knots and a moor speed of 28 knots, the Vikrant has the most vary of 7,500 nautical miles. The Vikrant has 76% indigenous content material which incorporates fight administration system, digital warfare suite, information community and built-in platform administration system, amongst others. Stretching to 262 meters, Vikrant in its size exceeds that of 2 soccer fields and is 62 meters vast. Its peak of 59 meter packs in 14 decks in all, and the vessel options over 2,300 compartments and supplies room for a crew of 1,600 personnel and consists of specialized cabins for girls officers. The one operational plane service with the Indian Navy earlier than Vikrant joined the fleet was the INS Vikramaditya, which had served within the erstwhile Soviet and thereafter the Russian Navy as Admiral Gorshkov earlier than being inducted by India in 2013. Globally, solely 5 or 6 nations are mentioned to have the potential of designing and executing the development of and plane service, which consultants say is thought about essentially the most priceless sea-based asset, an incomparable army instrument with its skill to challenge tactical air energy over lengthy distances. A plane service serves because the lead vessel of what's often called a strike or battle group, and being equally priceless and susceptible, is escorted by a number of different vessels, together with destroyers, submarines, and provide ships on its outing on the excessive seas. Over 76% of the fabric and tools on board the service is indigenous, together with 21,500 tons of particular grade metal developed indigenously and utilized in Indian naval ships for the primary time.
That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.